25,245 feet per second. Mark.
Right, so we're good? Here we go. Ready? Here we go.
Hey guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Kent, and we're Living Light RV.
We're grabbing life by the tail.
And sometimes that's in the fast lane.
It's been interesting. So we're calling this our re-entry video.
That's right.
We're going to share with you some of our experiences of what it's been like to go from living life on the road to being with our stationary friends and family.
Yeah.
So join us as we share with you
From our
some
heart.
tips and tricks and some of what we've been going through.
So first of all, let's just say thank you. This is our very first time of being away for 6 months and then meeting up with family and friends and being part of their life for a bit.
Yeah.
And we're not good at it.
Not yet. We'll probably get better. But just like you know, anytime you do something for the first time, it's a huge learning curve.
Yes.
So we just want to say thanks to our friends and family who have been patient with us, who have given us some grace and some extra space as we figure all of this out. And that apology will probably make more sense at the end of this video, but we wanted to say it up front so we don't offend anyone. So
That's right.
Here we go.
So re-entry, what does that look like? It's like driving along and entering into a freeway at 25 miles an hour and everybody's going 90 miles an hour. And it looks crazy.
It is. It could be catastrophic.
It could be
if you're
dangerous.
not careful.
So we want to help put some thought into that of how to best or at least manage going into a more busy situation.
Yeah. As you all know, life on the road, being an RV nomad, has a very different pace than a stationary life, especially a stationary life in the city, which is what we're familiar with. So right now we aren't even in Calgary yet. We're in BC. We're visiting family. And everybody here has a pace of life that is what we would consider a lot faster than our pace on the road, typically speaking.
Yes.
So
in some ways, from our perspective, it looks frantic.
Yeah. But it isn't. We used to live that way too.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's just normal. So yeah, so the pace of life in the city is definitely a faster paced life, especially when you have young kids, which a lot of our family and friends still have. So we're trying to fit in with their schedule. And guess what? We're not used to telling anybody what we're going to do next.
That's right. So what time are you going to be here and when? And we're like,
we'll get there when we get there.
Anybody
heard that before?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
So that has been a frustration, I think, for our family. They're like, Kent and Lisa, just get with the program. Like, answer us, give us your schedule, what's next, where are you going to be, when are you going to be there?
We need to be more prepared to respond.
Yeah. So that would be one of our tips for sure,
Yes.
for re-entering into maybe your old life, even if it's just for a few weeks or a short period of time. Be better at communicating to other people what your plans are and be more accountable to those plans. That's something else too. When Kent and I make a plan, it's just between Kent and I, and it doesn't matter if we change the plan 15 times a day or, you know, change the time that we're going to be somewhere. But when we're here, when we're with family and friends that are in a stationary life, we definitely need to be more careful about communicating our plans and sticking with them and being accountable.
It impacts relationship.
Yes.
So you tell somebody you're going to do something and then you call back and say, oh, you know, we're going to change our plans. It's going to fit better if we do it this way, that way. And they've already prepared things.
Yeah, so our apologies. We haven't been very great at that this time around, but we are going to try and get better. We recognize that that has been our fault, that we need to do that.
Yes.
Now, if you're listening to this and you are a family member or a friend of someone who is an RV nomad and they're coming back into your life, cut them a little extra slack because they're not necessarily used to that of just letting people know what they're going to be doing.
Well, there's also there's a few other reasons for it. It shapes your life when you're an RV nomad because you're driving by something and you're like, stop, this wasn't in our agenda, but this is important for us to take a couple of hours here.
Yeah, exactly.
So all of a sudden you've changed all your plans for good reason.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that not everybody lives that way, so that when you do that and it impacts other people's lives, you need to make sure that you don't do that when you're in someone else's schedule.
Yeah. So another thing that we've noticed is that our priorities as RV nomads living on the road can be different priorities than when you're living in a sticks and bricks house and you have a regular life. You have a job and you have church commitments and you have community commitments and you've got kids that you have to get different places.
And appointments.
Yeah, your priority is more, probably more time related and schedule related. And let's make sure that we get all these things done in a day. Us being on the road, our priority, well, for us personally, it was more, hey, we're content creators. We want to bring the best YouTube videos that we can, and we want to get the best footage that we can. So that was our priority, is getting the footage. Yeah. So that is different when those two worlds come together. I was going to say collide, but I don't want to say collide because I don't think they have to collide. I think they can mesh, but we just have to, both parties have to be wanting to put that extra effort in to get them to work together when they come back. So yeah, priority is a big difference as well. So recognize what your friends' priorities are. They might not be the same as your priority as an RV nomad, but maybe figure out how to get those things to mesh together.
And there's also a financial pace.
Yes. That
we've realized too, because living on the road, we're like, you know what, we can live with less. Yeah. We've given up in order to live on the road.
We're more minimalist in our thinking, for sure.
And then we enter into other people's schedules, and it's like, oh, remembering the cost of daily expenditures that we chose not to do over the last few months has been quite an eye-opener.
Yeah. So that's hard to fit in as well. Our budget just isn't as big as the people's budgets who live here. So we've had to...
Makes our head spin.
Yeah, we've had to kind of figure that out and be like, okay, well, we have to say no to some events or some things just because our budget isn't big enough to fit that. So that's our personal challenge. It might not be your personal challenge, and that's great if it isn't. But if you are living a very frugal life and a very... careful budget, then coming back into your old life or into your old family and friends, that can be a challenge. And we don't really have a big solution for that other than to maybe be open and honest and just say, hey guys, instead of going to this fancy restaurant, can we go out for coffee instead? Or why don't you come over to our rig and we'll make coffee? Or instead of going to maybe a theater production or something like that, can we just go for a walk? And kind of come up with some solutions to still spend time with each other, because that's key. You want to spend time with your family and friends for sure, but maybe not so much on the high end of the budget. Okay, so talking about us changing our minds all the time and maybe not being as accountable to our word as we should be, that can actually come across as irresponsible and non-committal. And we do not want to be irresponsible, and we don't want to be non-committal. It's just that is our normal life now, is to not have to stick so closely to the schedule. So for those of you who have nomad family or nomad friends and you're like, I just don't get it, why don't they just do what they say they're gonna do? It's just because we're not used to it. It's just not our normal anymore. So it's too normal. It's two different normals trying to come together. That's what it is.
And lots of people are very structured in their life, and so things can't fit into it very easily. But as we mentioned with our niece, we said, hey, come on down and join us. And then we said, hey, come down and join us. And then the next day she said, I'm coming. Well, that pleased us because that was where we were at.
And it was totally irresponsible.
And it was very irresponsible. But that was what she was entering into, was somewhere she was fitting into our life.
Yes, exactly.
Remember that when you're together, you're with people that you haven't seen for a long time. You've had a lot of tremendous experiences. But their experiences are just as important.
Absolutely.
And the things that they care about are just as important as the things I care about.
Yeah.
So don't think that because you've gone out and lived a different life that they want to hear every detail about it. That's why we put out a YouTube channel, so we don't even have to share what we've done. We can say, if you care, here, go and see what we've done.
Because chances are they don't care. Like, they actually don't want to sit there for 2 hours watching your slideshow of your life.
That's right.
And saying, oh, we went here and we saw this and this was awesome and this was great. They're like, awesome. I'm so happy for you. Next. So just as an RV nomad going into friends and family who are in a stationary life, just remember they actually don't really care as much about your experiences that you've had as you do. So our solution for that would be have a YouTube channel.
That's a good solution.
You have a place to share all your fun things. Share it with someone else. Kent and I have all those memories together. We can talk about it all day long. We can talk about the Grand Canyon all day long. We can talk about those cool sea lions that we saw in Newport, whatever. So have someone to share with. And if you have
a friend that can share on that level with you, you've got something.
Yeah, and if you're a solo traveler, find somebody to share that with. Find another traveler, another RV nomad that you guys can share that with. So that, because we do believe that having other people in your life to share those experiences with is important.
So when someone does ask, so what did you do in the last 6 months? Don't give them more than the capacity that they want to listen.
Yeah. Keep the stories short, sweet, concise.
If they keep asking for more, give them more.
Yeah, exactly.
So to recap, for re-entry, it may take some effort. It may take some extra planning, but be more prepared for it to be somewhat rocky and difficult. Yeah. And you'll probably have a better experience.
So put in the comments below what your experience has been as you have re-entered your sticks and bricks life, whether you're finished RVing for the season, as if you're a snowbird or whatever, or if you're still living in your RV but you are now spending more time with your friends and family, your coworkers, your neighbors that you had before you hit the road. What are your experiences? How have you done this? Because we are totally like, we've never done this before, and I don't know that we've seen very many YouTube videos on how to do this well. No. So we're thinking it's a skill that needs to be learned. We don't have this skill yet because we've never done it before. So we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this.
And if you're an RVer who does fit back into a situation and you don't have anybody to share with, give us an email.
Yeah, send us an email for sure, or just post on the comments below this video. We can chat about it and that kind of thing. So yeah, and like I said, find somebody to share it with because that's important. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. If not, and you're like, whatever, I have no idea what they're talking about, give it a thumbs down. And we will see you next week. Oh, don't go. I've been working on our website. Check it out, livinglightrv.com. I've got a new couple blog posts on there. We did a whole section on what we do for church on the road, which I know lots of people have been asking that question. Yep. So check out Living Light RV.
6-month review is on there.
Yeah, that's right. All the details from the 6-month review. Yeah. So yeah, definitely take a second. Go to livinglightrv.com. We would totally appreciate that. And we have also just put out our Amazon stores. We have one for Canada, one for the US. Yeah. So if you want to help us out a little bit, go ahead and use our Amazon links because it would be awesome. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You just shop like normal using our links and we get a little bit of kickback for that. So
yeah, help support us doing what we're doing.
So we can buy some better equipment for filming. So thanks so much, guys, for watching, and we will see you next Thursday. The City Mouse and the Country Mouse, an Aesop fable. A country mouse invited his cousin who lived in the city to come visit him. The city mouse was so disappointed with the sparse meal, which was nothing more than a few kernels of corn and a couple of dried berries. "My poor cousin," said the city mouse, "you hardly have anything to eat. I do believe that an ant could eat better. Please do come to the city and visit me, and I will show you such rich feasts readily available for the taking." So the country mouse left with his city cousin, who brought him to a splendid feast in the city's alley. The country mouse could not believe his eyes. He had never seen so much food in one place. There was bread, cheese, fruit, cereals, and grains of all sorts scattered about in a warm, cozy portion of the alley. The two mice settled down to eat their wonderful dinner, but before they barely took their first bites, a cat approached their dining area. The two mice scampered away and hid in a small, uncomfortable hole until the cat left. Finally, it was quiet and the unwelcome visitor went to prowl somewhere else. The two mice ventured out of the hole and resumed their abundant feast. Before they could get a proper taste in their mouth, another visitor intruded on their dinner, and the two little mice had to scuttle away quickly. "Goodbye," said the country mouse. "You do indeed live in a plentiful city, but I am going home where I can enjoy my dinner in peace."